Good to go. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We are here today with a very important series of webinars, ABA webinars. Welcome from SNIC Rehab Foundation. I'm Harshali Kharche, Managing Director and a founder of the SNIC Rehab Foundation. I will not take much of a time, but I would like to introduce SNIC in brief. SNIC is Special Needs Integration Center. Rehab stands for Rehabilitation, Empowerment, Health, Advocacy, and Belief. We are here to empower parents. So our vision is to empower parents of children with special needs by ensure their peace of mind, satisfaction, and positivity with respect to their children's overall development. In this vision, we have mission to sensitize and educate the society about the challenge faced by special need parents. Also to provide an appropriate perspective to the parents about treatments, therapy, approaches in favor of child's development. Another mission is to bring better clarity about myths, beliefs, and misunderstanding with regards to issues, disorders, and dysfunctions. Here, our motto is to set the foundation of the parent's body capable of providing resolution to challenges faced by parents of children with special needs. So, SNIC is working on the different areas to achieve its vision. These areas are awareness programs, parent empowerment. We are doing various activities for the parents as well as the children. We took camps and workshops for the children and parents. We have done various knowledge sessions for finance, advocacy, and we are looking at the mental and physical health too. And we are going into inclusive education soon, and many more projects are in the pipeline. For today, we are here for how to work on speech and language skill at the home. I will just stop my sharing. Yeah. For that, we have Binal Shah with us, but I would like to say here that this venture is in association with Autism Parent Hub and loved Praveen Kumar sir. Without his initiative, we could not arrange this one, and he today with us. This is the joint venture of SNIC and Autism Parent Hub and the Harshbin. So I'll just introduce Binal Shah ma'am. She is child development and behavior consultant working for kids with various developmental concerns for more than 15 years. She is board certified behavior analyst from US with various degrees and credentialed in education and psychology. Her service organization named Harshbin with her team of various other developmental professionals such as speech therapists, occupational therapists, and sport trainers. So I would like to welcome ma'am, and I would like to hand it over to Binal ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for me being here, and I would love to be here to talk to parents. I'm going to take some time to introduce the topic, and then I'm going to be open to answer all the questions as far as we can finish. Harshali would help me to understand all the questions, and I would go ahead with it. This is what we are going to do here. And let's not wait a lot of time. Let's start. Is there anything else that you all want me to ask before we start, or anything, or we should start?
We can start, ma'am.
We can start. Okay. Yeah, please do that. Okay. So our topic for today is how to work on skill development at home. And let's go proceed on the first slide. Um, can we go ahead? Yeah. So how to work on skill development at home. So when we are looking at skill development, what are the skills that we are more focused on? The first being attention and cooperation. The second is sensory integration and motor coordination. Third is speech, language, and communication. The fourth one is play and leisure, which is ignored most of the time, but it remains to be the most important area of development. After that comes the social interaction and group behavior. Following that would be emotional regulation, academic readiness, and vocational independence. See, the kids would not develop in a particular, I would say, range. They will be better in some area and they will not be better in another area. Today I am expecting that attention, cooperation, sensory integration, motor coordination is well taken care by most occupational therapists. So I thought of concentrating more on speech, language, and communication, and play and leisure skills. Okay, let's go ahead on the screen on the for the next slide. Now, what are the prerequisites before we start on working at home? The first is mental readiness of parents or caretakers who are going to take. Kids are usually diagnosed by 1.5, 2, 3, but they take long time to accept the diagnosis and come in terms of what they're facing. That actually loses most crucial time of training. Or and also it happens that most of the time in the beginning years they go slow with the therapy. It really loses on a lot of important time which is there. Can you all hear me? I'm being shown that the internet is not connected well. Can you hear me, Harshali, very well?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, absolutely. So mental readiness at the earliest uh, as it is possible is most important, because if we start working at 2 or 3, we are kind of remained with a lot of time ahead to cope with the difficulties and the situations that we are facing with children in terms of their development. So that's one thing. Secondly, many parents, they run to various therapy, but because of the anxiety towards what they're facing, it doesn't allow them to go into the crux of the matter. Most of the time they want to hear everything, but it just happens that when they start working with the kids, their anxiety comes in between. Because of that, the intensity of the work gets hampered. And so working at home is not very fruitful. So of course, that's one thing. Secondly, otherwise what can happen is kids, the parents are taking everything in their hand, and they are making very irrational belief to achieve in shorter time, which is also lending them making very anxious, and they're not being able to be rational in terms of what is to be done each day to get the targets achieved, or get to reach the goal that they have decided to. um Next is availability of time, people, and support. This is must. Home training is never
I think some network issue at ma'am's side. Yeah, you're back.
can you hear me?
Yeah, it was frozen. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is basically, when there is when there is lack of availability of time, parents are working, they have other kids to be various therapies, but they don't get time to work at home, which is also many a time becomes the hindering agent in helping kids to grow and reach the level as fast as possible that they should be. Third is knowledge. Definitely knowledge about having autism or having symptoms of autism is definitely something that all parents want to know. But when they Google it, it's loaded with the information, which makes them more anxious and confused rather than um, making them aware of the actual idea and facts. So of course, groups like Parents Hub, Autism Parents Hub and SNIC, they help parents to understand, and that's the reason uh, nowadays I get many parents who have understanding of what I am talking, and far in advance than I started teaching. The knowledge, I mean, knowledge remains to be one, but skills are not compromised too. It is knowledge is usually knowledge is usually mistaken as skills. No, skills to work with kids, to be aware of all your uh, worries and anxiousness, and to be able to follow the technique as it is required is most essential. And if they're learned very well, it's very easy to kind of employ at home and get results. So skills should not be definitely compromised on, even for parents. And supervision is the last thing, because every day goals need to be changed. I mean, it's at least at small level, not more every day. And at least in 2 to 3 days, they have to either evaluate, either taken down or progress ahead, or something should be done so that the again we are reaching the goals as fast as possible, not wasting a lot of time in one skill doing, on one task doing, and other where other things get kind of ignored. Okay, let's move to another slide. So what do we all need as a intervention plan? The first is, once child is assessed on their skill development assessment, which tells them all the their functionality in the mentioned areas of the development, which we mentioned on the first skill. So we need to have clear picture and a clear baseline of where our child is on each area of development, which makes us which makes easy for us to make the behavioral long-term goals, maybe for 2 years or 1 year or 6 months, however we want. And on the basis of that, we can make intensive skill development program. After that, I usually do is I try to divide my tasks according to the targets that we have made into two kind of work. One is um, homework and one is center work. So homework is basically called support work, where the center work is called intense work. Now we'll come to what they are, but today we're going to currently I'm talking about how short-term targets of a home need to be in parents' hand, to make sure that they are functioning as per the what training is happening in the center, and it is in compliance with the same targets that those are happening in center. Schedule of work. So what is going to be the schedule of work for entire day? How are they going to use various reinforcers? How are they going to use various demands? This is very essential for parents to know, because if left on parents, they do things on their own sometimes, which is also not wrong, but many a times it can go wrong, leaving very important areas of development which is taking more time aside and working on something which is easy. Because eventually, I understand one thing is, parents are of course going through a lot. They are struggling with their kids. They want to make sure that kids develop their skills as fast as possible, and they lack supervision and skills in training all the areas of development. So they end up doing something which is easier, it is in their hand, and which is giving them results little faster. So it is possible that they ignore which is very important area of development, and they keep doing something which is easy and giving them results faster and faster. Strategies and skills to conduct training at home. Yes, definitely important. If intervention plan, or if trainers are not training you on particular strategies and skills, it is very difficult for you to function at home in terms of what skills to employ by training into particular tasks which are given to you, and continuous updation of the whole program, which is also not to be ignored. Next. Now, what is the role of therapist? Can we go to the next slide first and then come to this one? Great. So what is going to be the role of parents here? So understand the approach towards training. It's very essential that you ask that what is the approach that they're following, what is that they are looking forward to make sure that training happens, and what kind of strategies they are using to get the results as fast and as effective as possible. Work on targets requiring long-term engagement. Now, I was talking about support work and intense work. Why I have divided into this? So because support gives a health therapist to get their intense work done easily. I'll tell you how. So these are the targets which are given in the support work. They require longer time engagement. So many a times helping them speaking long sentences, helping them making them stimulate entire day by various activities of motor coordination or sensory integration or language stimulation. It's very essential that it happens for almost 8, 9, 10 hours in a day at initial level, with various different tasks and various other people, so that children are getting auditory stimulation and various kind of stimulation to help them be alert, be present in the situation, and come into the terms of learning easily, so that it becomes easy for us to employ the training using the intense work at center. You doing our work is not possible because it may require, I would say, more intense training, more intense skills to be employed, and the support work requires long time engagement, which is not possible for us, right? So I am going to yes, I'm going to definitely talk about communication. We'll come to it, Sia. So time engagement and follow the homework schedule. Again, as I told you, if parents are not given the schedule to work at home, they are usually lost, and they pick up something which is available, or something which is just maybe in their mind and coming ahead, but the particular schedule, if it's not followed, then it's very difficult for us to work on the entire skill development. Make homework data and videos available for supervision. Yes, parents should definitely get some videos and data to be filled, so that it is easy for therapists to understand what you're doing at home, and they can supervise you on that. Next. Okay, can we go to role of therapist? Okay, so role of therapist. Make parents and caregivers understand the approach towards training, targets requiring shorter time of the training, but training of employment in more accurate way. I'm sorry, there's a mistake. In a more accurate way. Provide parents with homework schedule, training parents in skills and strategy required for home training. Parents may not be trained in all kind of strategies and skills which therapists are employing, but at least those which are required to be which are required for them to train their kids at home, in a home environment. Next. Okay, so let's learn how to manage the time. Okay, so time management is managing our behavior and prediction with the predicted actions for defined period of time for better productivity and target skills. Okay, let's make it very simple. So you should know exactly what are the available time with your child and what are the activities you're going to do, so that you manage your time in a way that activities which are demand on reinforcers, or they are tasks which are given from you by the therapist, are kind of trained. So kids are trained in those tasks systematically, so that every task get equal amount of time, and everything is taken care well. Okay, next. Okay, stages of home training. So first, I always request parents to go on a continuous reinforcement schedule of work. Now, what is continuous reinforcement schedule of work? So rapport with parents, I mean, I'm talking about children's rapport with parents is usually not very good, because of course parents are demanding for each and every activities that should be done in a home environment. Many a times children also start taking parents granted, and it doesn't allow parents to work with them efficiently. So continuous reinforcement schedule of work has many benefits that I'm going to talk about. The first, when they are engaged Okay, I am expecting that everybody knows reinforcers. Or do you want me to talk about reinforcers?
Maybe just one line, ma'am.
Okay.
It's for
So,
new
okay.
parents.
Okay. So reinforcers are those stimulus, those items, those activities, those things, those people. It could be anything which makes child engage in that particular stimulus by their will, so that it's very easy for them to get into that activity because it's liked by them. They want to, yeah, it is what child likes, but moreover that, what child likes at that particular time. So what remains to be your reinforcer today may not be your reinforcer tomorrow, or not may not be reinforcer in next moment of time too. So it's very essential to know where child's will is going, to understand that what is the reinforcer for the moment. First should be that, and child should be deprived of that. If example, I am available with tea entire my day, and if you ask me to do some kind of activity for tea, it is going to be very difficult. It's for you to get work from me, because I have tea. I have free access of tea any time of the day. Why would I work for you? Why would I put in my efforts for to earn tea? It is not going to be possible. It is not going to be possible because I personally have excess of tea my own, and I don't really value the tea that you're giving to me. So reinforce for a thing or a stimulus, for a stimulus to become a reinforcer, it should be valued. Child should be deprived of that. Child should be that should be liked by child at that particular moment, and child should be ready to put in effort of work to get access of that reinforcer, right? So continuous reinforcer schedule says that we have to give them constant only and only reinforcers to make them happy, to make sure that all non-desirable behaviors of the day, all non-desirable activities and all non-desirable behaviors, they come into the seas because child is busy engaging himself in something what he likes entire day. The home environment should be enriched in a way that child is getting one by one all the activity of his interest in a way that we have planned, and in a schedule that we have planned, so that child is busy with the adult or a caretaker or a parent entire day. Firstly, of course, non-desirable behaviors may not occur here because child is busy entire day enjoying and engaging in reinforcers. Secondly, social interaction of the child with parents definitely increases because they want to be with parents, as all the excess of the parent reinforcers, giving one, taking one, giving another one, taking the first one. So this allows them the constant interaction with the parents, right? So it has definitely a kind of and trust, and third is of course trust towards parents definitely increases here, because children start looking at them like they are not a threat and they are the givers. So they want to get engaged with the for the activities with them on continuous basis, so that they can have more fun and they can spend their day in a better way. Once this is done, we can go to, and once we know this may take 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, depends how kids are coming up with it. And the second one is, of course, demand and reinforcement schedule. Okay, what is demand and reinforcement schedule? Where you present the demand and then immediately jump to reinforcer. You present the demand and you immediately jump to reinforcement. So this allows them to accept the demand, as there's very first, you can see it is 10:90. So the demand is going to be at least 10%. So just one demand, maybe demand for 1 minute or one small demand or two small demands, and then immediately going to reinforcement time, so that they are easily taking the demands from parents because they know it is followed by a reinforcing time. It may not be some kind of snacks all the time. It could not be chakli or chivida or chips the way it looks all the time. It could be any kind of play. It could be any kind of social play. It could be any or it could be some kind of eatable if children are getting children are showing more interest towards eatable. So we know that 20% of demands and 80% of reinforcers time, and the last is 30:60. If 30% of your child's awakened day is taken care by demands and 70% is reinforcing time, I think this is the most ideal for most of our kids who are young, and they can be happy also, and they can learn also. Now this 30% of demands may not be something what you want to teach initially. See, there are parents who are capable of teaching their kids, but it also depends and change. It keeps changing on child's with children on day-to-day basis. So sometimes they want to learn, sometimes they don't want to learn. So this 30% of the demand, you may do the same thing which has been told to you and that the therapist have already done, or you know that this is what something they know, and let's work on those skills today. As children doesn't look to be very cooperative because of whatever the antecedent or whatever the environmental changes they must have faced. So 30:70 is something that we're looking for, but we start with continuous reinforcement schedule of work. So young parents who are going to start working, just work on continuous reinforcement schedule of work. If children who are old enough, but they have been in this kind of training and therapies for many years now, and they have kind of come to a level where they are tired and they're showing symptoms where they don't want to take more, you can go back to continuous reinforcement schedule of work and slowly and gradually build on that. Okay. Harshali, I have been asked to, explain little slowly. What part of what part of this whole thing has to be
Yes,
talked
ma'am.
again?
I guess overall they must be asking, but it's fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. Okay. So I was talking here about the continuous reinforcement schedule where children are given constantly reinforcers one by one. So they are busy in something what they like. The environment is enriched, and they are building trust over the caretakers or towards the parents, so that learning and teaching in coming days becomes easy, and we can reach to a level where we can expect 30% of demands over with 70% of reinforcers. Can we move ahead on this? Okay, so what could these reinforcers? The next one is, if I'm not mistaken, they are social reinforcers. Yes, and activity and task reinforcers, which is the third one, right? So what are the sensory reinforcers? Okay, let's talk about activity and task reinforcer, playing blocks, filling colors. Okay, let's talk about sensory reinforcers as it's come. Sensory reinforcers, let's start with that. Okay, what are the sensory reinforcers? So all the sensory seeking behaviors that your child has, if child likes to play with water, like some kind of texture, or they want to like to play with some kind of threads or some kind of sticks, or they want to play with some kind of lights or bubbles or clay or water, or they like to take massages, or they want to play on swing, or eating chocolates, chips, cakes, depending on the diet you are following, they all come under sensory reinforcers. Secondly, social reinforcers. Yes, so playing goda goda, peekaboo, being tickled, or being circle, or running behind each other, or doing some kind of activity where hide or playing hide and seek if your child likes that, or it could be some kind of roll on a bed, or it could be I have list. Let me check if I can get something more, so that these activities I'm sure parents would want to mention in the book so that they can use them in future. Okay. All right. So I'll tell you the activities here. Okay, sensory activities. Okay, so things with salty taste, sour taste, spicy taste, things with bland taste, eating cakes, licking tomato ketchup, tomato fruit. Okay, these are the things which could be there depending on the diet that you're following. You can choose it, or you can decide on the limitation of what your child has. You can select the reinforcers that you want to provide with. So you're giving various things to eat, then playing with bubbles, grains, water, playing with ice, playing with sand, playing with yo-yo toys, springs, straws, slime, clay, crayons, playing with marbles, pebbles, softballs, playing in ball pool, pushing toys, finger spinners, fidget clickers. Touching sequence pillow, so for the texture that they enjoy, catching bubbles, blowing bubbles, looking at light and sound toys, playing with rattles, being wet in water with water mist, riding a car, so being ride on the car. So if they are riding, of course it's a gross motor activity, but if he's sitting on a car and you are pushing the car and he's enjoying the car, of course it's also one of the activity that children can be engaged in. Being in moving lift, yes, many times they just want to enjoy the lift because of the sensation that they enjoy in that. Spinning toys, these are examples of sensory reinforcers. Okay, then comes of course social reinforcers, so singing rhymes together, enjoying tickling time, playing peekaboo, being hugged, playing ghoda ghoda, playing hide and seek, jump and carry, so they jump and then you get hold of them from the bed only. That's what they love. Back ride, lifted in air, having round ride, watching cartoon, being out, seeing things around, and dance party with the music. These are the social activities that that parents can do with the children. And then comes, of course, gross motor and fine motor activities that most of the parents are aware of, but still I would try to mention few. Of course, playing on slide, playing on swing, jumping on, bouncing on the ball, going for car drive, bike ride at home, playing ringa ringa, running activities, climbing activities, dancing, again imitating the steps, fine motor, fixing puzzles, doing rings, nesting cups, cutting activities, pasting activities, coloring activities, tearing paper, writing, sorting things, folding items, crumbling papers, cutting vegetables, tapping activities. Okay, okay, playing with board mechanics and stringing beads. These are the fine motor activities which children can enjoy. When children who are grown little older, of course they love to play snakes and ladder, ludo, sometimes cards. So all kind of activities which are social, fine motor, gross motor, sensory integration should be included in entire day schedule. Okay, next slide. Next. Okay, so again, I'm talking about reinforcers here. For a stimulus to become a reinforcer, person should be deprived of the stimulus. Person would want it that particular time. Person should be able to take an effort to get access of that particular stimulus. Yes, then only this particular stimulus qualifies to be a reinforcer. Next. Demands. Okay, we spoke about continuous reinforcer schedule, and we also spoke about demand reinforcer schedule. So demands of the child depends on the current skill and targets, right? So many a times it happens that children are, example, if therapist is making them do maybe standing line or sleeping line or trying to make hold on crayon and do some scribbling or coloring, but because they are going to school, okay, and they are expected them to write spellings, you want them to write spelling as demand, which is not really very rational thought, because children are not come on that level in spite of school being asking for that. We have to understand what is the current baseline of the child, then only we can demand. So many times they say कि school का homework करवा दो और side में therapist चलते रहेगा, but we have to understand child is only one and he can do something which is already in his repertoire, leaving everything aside. So if example, if particular child is not being able to run for 2 kilometers, but we saying okay 2 kilometers का training चलते रहेगा, पर आज के दिन marathon भाग ले 24 किलोमीटर का, which is just not possible, and it is not something what we can expect of child. The demands that you have to ask from child, it all depends on all the skills which are kind of part of his intervention plan in school, in therapy center, and all the things mostly which are developed with the intent learn. They spend few hours there, 1 hour, 2 hours. They learn exercises, they learn uh, uh, various other tasks for speech, for language, for maybe for academics, and after coming home they may not want to learn again. Doesn't child can't learn entire day, you have to understand that. So during the time of the during child is at home, you may use demands which are already achieved, so that it is kind of a maintenance training which is happening at home, and moreover the trust towards child is also getting intact. Children, because of course parents lack skill of training, they don't know exactly which skill to employ to make sure the learning is faster and it is not taking very long. So they keep doing one thing again and again and again, and that really frustrates child, and eventually your child doesn't do anything with them, you lose your hope, you become anxious, and child is an entire house doing something what he wants all the time. So no reinforcers are in your control, no maintenance tasks are in your control, and not even any kind of demands are in your control. So leave some task for therapists, because you're already going to therapy centers, and learn from them that what tasks are done already, achieve them, make use of those tasks to give them demand at home. This is a very essential point which I would want all the parents to understand and ask, and make the list of demands that you can ask home, and ask only those things. I have seen so many, I mean, it's very strange to see that we know that children, if example child doesn't know and doesn't answer uh, on being asked what is your name, but still they want to ask what is your name, to just to check whether सीख तो नहीं गया है शायद, अरे शायद कैसे सीखेगा, नहीं सीख पाएगा, और वो, and this is making them understand that it is okay to ignore my mother's and my father's question, because usually I don't have answers to them. Now in this case you also tend to mix up on whether child is not responding to the question asked, is it because child doesn't know or child is not wanting to answer. So inconsistency and underdevelopment of skill, it's totally get mixed up, and we don't know where we are landing our home program to, and it gives them lot of more anxiety कि घर पे तो कुछ करता ही नहीं है, घर पे तो कुछ करता ही नहीं है, because we are doing something which is not structured, not planned, and not in a way that children would be more comfortable, and you will be seen as more trustworthy person to be answered all the time. Okay, next. Schedule. So we spoke about continuous reinforcement schedule and demand reinforcement schedule. Next. Okay, which are the strategies which are important to be employed at home schedule, homework schedule, First is stimulus-stimulus pairing. Second is deprivation and delay in reinforcement. Third is differential reinforcement. Fourth is interruption and distraction. Okay. Can we go to the last slide? What is it? Let me just see. Okay, let's go to the previous slide again. No, the previous one. Okay, great. I'm going to show a video and let's try to understand what is shown and we'll discuss about that video. Okay. Can you stop sharing the screen? Yeah, I will share a screen now. Okay. Oh. You don't want the biscuit? Okay, no problem. Chalo, let's go back in the slide. Let's go back in the slide. Yay. Okay. Okay, let's play with balloon. 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 Hit the balloon. Hit the balloon. Yeah. Balloon is bubble color. Okay, okay. Let's do high jump. Okay, high jump. High jump. High jump. Hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So during this video, this particular child, this is just made for demonstration. Okay. So the things were very quick. We may not shift from one reinforcer to another reinforcer so quickly. We may give some little time to play and judge if child wants to change. We can change and we can go ahead to the another reinforcer. And also we have tried, okay, most of the time, most of the things are sensory. Just few things were maybe activity tunnel or some kind of ball or something. And the video is also cut. Behind that, they also make them do the scribbling and coloring, so which child enjoys. Okay. One thing did you see that therapist was trying to offer biscuit, but he didn't want biscuit. Okay. So it is supposedly a potential reinforcer for the child. That's the reason it was with us. But child did not want it. So it is okay. हमने decide किया है तो देना ही जरूरी तो नहीं है ना. Child did not like it and we moved to another thing. This allows them to constantly move from one reinforcer to another, leaving very less time in between for any kind of non-desirable behavior. Right? Did you also see that when Saloni, who is an occupational therapist there, was kind of tired because he was handling me since particular child since little longer time, he switched to Harish Bhai. He said, okay, Harish Bhai, aap jumping karwa lo. That's the support and network that I am looking for. Because when children have they tend to move in fraction of most of the parents will agree to me कि एक एक्टिविटी से दूसरे एक्टिविटी करवाने जाओगे तो बच्चा कहीं दूसरे रूम में चला जाएगा and it is very difficult for you to bring him back. First of all the activities what you want to do, they have to be present in particular room, but they should be in your access, not child's access. Very complicated. They should be up somewhere from where you can take it very easily, but child can't take. Again, child will not, slowly and gradually, child will definitely build a trust where he would not want to snatch activity from you because you are anyways giving him. Because you're already providing activities one by one. He would wait that what is next coming to me. Most मतलब मैक्सिमम ये हो सकता है कि बिस्किट नहीं पसंद था, बच्चे ने नहीं लिया, which is completely okay. Let's move to another activity. So all kind of social reinforcers, sensory reinforcers, can perform easily and liked by the child. You place them in an order where sensory, then thoda social, then maybe some kind of activity, and then maybe given something to play by his own. It could be playing on grain or something what child can play. Sensory activities are usually, if they're seeking activities, child want to get engaged in them easily by their own. So that is the time that parents can relax and sit behind. And but social and task activities, we definitely want to get involved, because task, of course, we want to teach particular rules or particular way, the way task and activities are done. And social reinforcers, because we want children to get connected by us. So Mrs. Rodriguez, can we put the screen again and the slide which says strategies?
Yes. I'll just do that 1 minute.
Right. So what is stimulus? That one only.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is stimulus pairing? Stimulus pairing is one stimulus, which is the play. Therapist is trying to pair it with the words of which child can understand. Okay. So did you hear that therapist was constantly talking about the activity which she was doing? Either if it was play, if it was bubbles, then pop the bubble. Bubbles are flying high. Bubbles are round. They are so beautiful. Wow, so many bubbles. This way, all kind of vocabulary, kind of vocabulary, language, child is getting stimulated with. And these words are going in child's ear so that therapists can make use of this vocabulary that child has developed in the session for some kind of communication work, which we are going to discuss in the next workshop next time, which is verbal behavior. But घर पे अगर stimulus pairing constantly होते रहेगा, then it's very easy for therapists to make use of that language which is developed at home. Language development entirely in center is difficult, because stimulation maximum 1 घंटे या 2 घंटे दे पाएगी, उससे ज्यादा, और उसमें भी बहुत सारे दूसरी भी एक्टिविटीज रहेगी. So it's very difficult for us to completely and constantly stimulate child in center. So we give this support work to parents. So it is because they can take advantage of the time which is available to them, activities which child like in their own environment, and they can also relate to the activities that children can also relate to activities which are present in his own environment, right? So this is about stimulus pairing. I'm going to show you another video here. Okay, just a second. All right.
Ma'am, can you make it full screen?
Yeah. Great. Harish bhai.
Ma'am, is there a sound to the video? Audience is asking.
Yeah, there's no sound.
No, even
I am hearing the video and the sound is also coming as full. No.
Harshali, can you hear?
No, actually,
There was no sound, ma'am. If you
yeah.
can
You want me to
replay.
play it again? Okay, just
Yeah,
a second.
because there was
Yeah.
no sound.
Okay,
No.
just a second. I'll do it.
No, while sharing, you just have to select the sound option. Just if you can stop share and share it again.
Okay, you want me to do that? Okay, just a second.
Yeah. Use just click on share and the left there is share sound option will come.
Okay.
That you have to tick that option and then select the screen.
Okay. Just a second. It's not. I don't know why, but even if I have not shared, it's not yet off. I don't know why it is not getting stopped. It is still. Just a second. Okay. All right. Share a sound. Okay. And video. Just tell me if you all can hear it now. Is it coming?
Yes, but we
Video
can't
is
see, yeah. Picture, we can't see the
the
picture.
picture is right there.
Oh, what's happening? Picture नहीं आ रहा है.
Yeah, ma'am. The visuals are not coming, but we can hear.
It's very weird, no? Just a second. Let's try again. And I don't know why it's not coming.
No, same.
I don't know. It's coming the same way it's coming to me too.
You can try another video if you have.
Yeah. Let's.
One has some problem. Yeah, we can see this. Yeah, we can hear now.
Okay, great. Can you hear me along with this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So what is a therapist trying to do here is presenting a reinforcer as a phone. The child has limited interest and phone is one of the most preferred one right now. And we are trying to build on the activity. So the reason I am showing you this, it's very difficult for parents to function this way when child starts crying. With a therapist, even if you see child is starting to cry, she's stopping herself easily. With parents, they don't stop. They go on and on and on and nothing can be done. So these these are demands. These are actual training demands. It's not really that child has already learned. And I give these targets to home, it is not going to happen. And child will make some aversive feeling for these activities. That is going to be additional pressure on therapist. There are a lot of chance that this child at this time will not allow parent to even stop the phone. Yeah, just a second. Yes, so okay, what is it happening?
You want to play video?
Okay, no, we got it. Okay, perfect. So, yes. So did you see that video? Right? And this is what is the most difficult. It's kind of a challenge to make children leave the phone to get the activity done. But if these skills this task that particularly therapist was trying, if they are learned and child is already acquired those, and children is if that particular child is confident about the skill, it's very easy for parent to do at home. So that's how we divide um, uh, support work and intense work. Can we see the slide of strategies again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Differential reinforcement. Okay, what is differential reinforcement? That child that particularly we want parents to learn is giving reinforcers in various amounts, intensity, and we would say frequency, or giving them in various in various amount. So quality, quantity, intensity has to be modified in terms of how you're getting answer. Say example, your child is working with you and you are asking child to do particular demand, which you know the child already knows and has learned it. Okay, and if child does it without the prompt, there is a different amount of reinforcer which should be provided him with. And if child is doing the prompted response, when you are helping child to get the response, then the quality and the quantity of the reinforcer has to be changed there. This is the most important point which usually most of the parents fail to understand. I would okay, can we try getting focus on me? I would try to do the demonstration here with one of my colleagues. हर्ष भाई आप चेयर लेके यहाँ पे आ जाना मेरे पास. Can you all see me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you all see Harish here? Sit na Harish पे. Come आगे आ जाइए. Okay.
We can't see
Harish
your colleague.
Okay. Can you see now?
Yes, yes.
Can you see both of us now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, this is Mr. Harish. Okay, so here I am assuming that pen is more reinforcing than a ball, and I'm going to ask few responses according to what I get. He's going to be real. So pen is more reinforcing than a ball. So ball is a least preferred than a pen, and I have availability of both in my hand, and I'm expecting that Harish knows how to clap and he has performed this task before in therapy center, and I as a parent been told to work on this demand when you working with your child at home. Okay, Harish bhai, mat karna on. Okay, do this, and child is just not doing it. Do this. Yeah, you get it. So मेरा हाथ automatically ball पे जाके ही जाना चाहिए when I know the child has not given me response the way I wanted. Okay, usually parents क्या करते हैं, किया कि नहीं किया, reinforcement में कोई difference नहीं आता है. This doesn't allow them to reach to a level where we are expecting child to reach. So differential reinforcement, usme, see, basically there is much more detail about differential reinforcement, but I'm trying to make you understand this is essential point which you can try to understand from your therapist in detail and try to get more idea about it. Okay, abhi aap kar lena, okay? Okay, do this. Oh, here you go with the pen. This is how we do. Okay, so this is how the differential reinforcement is doing. There are a lot of other things to it, but this is one way. We may also do example if there are biscuits which are of various sizes. You may try to adjust the size of the biscuit that you give according to the response you get. If you're making your child jump on a trampoline as a reinforcer, you may adjust the time of the jumping time that you're going to give to your child. If it's prompted response, it could be for a little less time and then child should be down again. And if it's unprompted, oh yes, it's a full-fledged jumping time and child enjoys his jumping thoroughly, where there is no restriction because child has responded the way I wanted and I'm expecting him to. Right? Okay, can we have the slide again? Okay. The first is stimulus pairing. Okay. Did we speak to her? बोल रही है करूं कौन नहीं वही का बात है. Okay, no, not a problem. Okay, so stimulus pairing. The first point is where when you are playing with the child, the way therapist was playing with the child and constantly saying the sentences. Why sentences there? Because child already repeats sentences, so she is using sentences. Example, if child is on a level where he can repeat only words, so let's start with words and then gradually go to 2-word phrases and then 3-word phrases, or maybe and later on maybe the 4-word phrases to repeat. This allows them to speak entire day with the parent or a caretaker to break their own anxiety to get their vocals out. This is very important exercise to do at home, which allows therapists to make use of their language easily for communication at home, at center. Right? So stimulus pairing is example. If I have Harish bhai with me and I have a ball, please. So example, if I have a ball and I want to play with the ball and I'm saying ball, so your Harish bhai is being very kind that he said ball very very quickly after me, but not always that child would say. So you just keep pairing the stimulus of the which is the item ball with the word stimulus ball. It helps them to understand that we are talking about ball. If it's pen, and even if it doesn't say pen, here I am not doing any kind of differential reinforcement because I'm just pairing the stimulus and I'm making it easy for the child, where I am just doing the activities and he is trying to repeat the activity behind me. Even if he doesn't speak that word, I am going to give words to him so that he starts pairing those words with the activity. It could be ball, it could be pen, it could be, if child is playing with pebbles, then pebbles. If it's water, then splash, 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 water, water, water. If it's jumping on the trampoline, constantly jump, 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 jump. This allows them to auditorily sync the word with the activity and helps them to say these words in future occurrences of the similar activity. Once it gets easy for child to repeat those words and say those words constantly, Parents, we can ask them to mand, which we are going to talk in the next workshop, which is verbal behavior. Like that, which we are looking forward for communication. So stimulus pairing is essential when you are making your schedule, when you are doing the activities. Make sure according which child can take in and try to vocalize by his own in future. Okay, so deprivation and delay in reinforcement, it's again about the manding that we are going to talk in the next session. But first, very essential thing is continuous reinforcement. With that, stimulus pairing, so that words are going in child's ear and they are trying to repeat behind you. Differential reinforcement, when we know that we are expecting some kind of demands out of them, which could be motor demands, which could be speech demands, it could be some kind of academic demands. If children are, if parents are looking forward to teach them some kind of academic skills. The last is interruption and distraction. While doing this, if it happens that you are doing something and child is getting interrupted and going somewhere else, okay, what are you going to do that time? If child is not with you and going somewhere else, it's a clear indication that what activity you are presenting is not so reinforcing as he is seeing other activity as. So take on child's instinct and take your child there and try to play with that. Try to modify your program in your head कि भले मैं बॉल से खिलाने की कोशिश कर रही थी, मुझे मेरे प्रोग्राम में बॉल लिखा है, मुझे खेलना है, मुझे वो बॉल वर्ड का सिमुलेशन देना था ताकि कल हम आगे जाके वो वर्ड्स को यूज कर पाए. But if my child is going somewhere else, okay, let him go, because it's a stimulus, because it is a reinforcement schedule. You can go according to child's will. Okay, and while demand also, if you're asking demand and child is trying to, if you have ball in your hand and a pen aside somewhere, and if you are trying to ask maybe to clap or do something and child is not doing and trying to catch something else, get that in your hand and try to use that as a reinforcer. Change your reinforcers time to time so that your child is more willing to answer your respond over your questions and on your skills that you're asking him to perform on. Okay, distraction, yes. When child is getting in, when you are trying to kind of doing some kind of demand with the child, it is, and child is getting distracted, it's very important that your child is distraction free during that time. If and the reinforcers in your control, where you are presenting him with the one by one, and child, you have all the attention of your child towards you because you are the giver at that particular time. So free access of reinforcers, try to avoid, and try to keep everything in your access so you can use everything wisely for getting reinforcers. बच्चे को अगर example पानी में खेलने जाना है, but you are using biscuit as a reinforcer, it is not going to work, because that particular time, what is more reinforcing to child? That he wants to go and play in water. Please ask your questions there. Try to do your training there. Not necessarily all the training has to be done on table and chair. This is natural environment training. Be around with your child, move around, keep asking. अगर नीचे जा रहे हो कहीं पे, puddle आया, बच्चे, if your child wants to jump on in the puddle, use that as an opportunity. Maybe ask one or two questions, or maybe oh, where do you want to go? Puddle, let him repeat puddle and then go into the puddle. This is allow him to use your language wisely in everyday's life. Okay, can we do question and answer now? Yeah, can we move ahead and then see what is left in the PPT and then move to. So parents are the best therapists when proceeded with the appropriate therapy goals, strategies to achieve required, just a second, I'm hiding it, targeted skills. Okay, if parents are given particular tasks, it's very easy for them to function at home rather than they thinking what to do at home. So try to get the wholesome program in your paper, where you divide your goals to target goals, maintenance goals, reinforcers, and divide kind of your time so that you can give justice to your time, and therapists also can use the skills that you are trying to do at home. Okay, last, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. This is really great, very informative. I think we'll go ahead further. Praveen sir, you want to say something here, or we can go for the questions?
Yeah, sorry, Harshali. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, Harshali, first of all, I would like to personally thank you for your coordination and scheduling the webinar with Ms. Binal. And most of the credit goes to SNIC Foundation and others who gave such interesting presentations and coming to one platform to help all the special needs families. And thank you, Mr. Brian, and your family is a loving couple, and it's been like a blessing for all the special needs community. Me and my wife will always admire you, seeing you always active and posting the videos of your daughters, and that's motivate everybody in the special needs community. Thank you very much. And Ms. Binal, what else I can say? The webinar was really helpful, and thank you for giving such a wonderful presentation, the technicalities of ABA. And we, ABH and the SNIC Foundation, appreciate you making time in your busy schedule. And I hope more presentations will be coming soon, and this will help our parents in understanding and implementing the ABA technicalities and the strategies at home, and this will help the children in the future. Thanks a lot. Yeah, please go ahead with the questions. And to the parents who are in this webinar, I would like to tell you one more time that parents are the key, and understanding the children is the golden key to unlock autism or any disorders. Play friendly and visual friendly environment are the keys to provide a better place for our children. And if you have any questions, please contact Ashali, and we will come up with more such kind of presentations in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And we'll go ahead with the questions. Okay, I can see hand raise of Leela Rajesh. I think we can ask them to unmute, and they can ask the questions.
There are a few questions in the chat box that I'll answer, and then you keep unlocking one by one. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So first question is from Richa. Will my 5.5-year-old kid be able to play independently the games he likes because he doesn't play without my help? Yes, of course. See, if they can play with the help, it is all about giving them independent play training, so that they depending on what kind of game you are talking about, because many games also require partners. So if you're talking about independent game in terms of puzzles or playing cards, or maybe snakes and ladder is something one they can play by their own, or ludo with one of the partner on phone or something like that, yes, some kind of training will definitely. First is definitely your rapport with the child. If you think your child can learn by you, learn the steps of training the child, and you can try one at a time and then going ahead. And if your therapist can do that work, then let her take the training charge, and then once they are done, you can implement the maintenance part at home. Okay. How long we continue using demand schedule method? I mean, generally, how long it takes for follow demand without stimulus? Demand without stimulus. Without stimulus, I don't really get in, because if you're putting up demand, then only it is a demand. So I did not get the question very clearly, Shazia. Demand step. First, what you're asking is how long should we continue using stimulus method? I think constantly. Go ahead with demands, and then keep changing your ratio of demands to reinforcer, depending on the time, and depending on the kind of compliance of the child that you can achieve. My son is 9 years old. What strategy can be used to reduce his anxiety? Also, he doesn't like to play except running. Of course, continuous reinforcement schedule. Make a schedule of reinforcers, give them constantly, because according to this, what your child loves is only running. I'm sure when you will see the list and you will make the list, you will be able to understand that there's so many things that child would love to do with your help. And if not, age appropriate, they could be sensory or social or some kind of according some kind of activities which are appropriate to his functionality. But anxiety to definitely reduce hoga constantly agar play schedule, because there is no time to for anxiety to take place when child is busy in play and an enriched environment. So I personally feel continuous reinforcement schedule, start with it and it will definitely give some kind of help to you. My daughter is mildly autistic, 10 years old. She's getting better with academics as I'm working on it, but social skills, I'm still not getting much progress. When we are social parties, she's very shy and avoids eye contact. Tries to hide behind me and hide behind mobile. None of the reinforcers work. If they're not working, they are not reinforcers. Okay. So make sure that what stimulus and what items or what activities you are trying to give, your child is deprived of that. In past, she's shown some kind of preference to it, and your child is not available with the phone. And but the social scenario may, if your child is not playing anything else, does she have anybody else to play with? That's also very important, because if you will be busy, of course, meeting people, the only one reinforcer which allows them to play, not only, but most commonly used reinforcer which they can access by their own in independent way is phone. That's the reason they want to be in phone. So I would say I personally don't know your family exactly, so I don't know what skills she or he she has developed to expect independence. But if you think she can engage herself in any other kind of play, make it accessible there if it's feasible. If you can get some pebbles, if you can get some kind of fidget toy or fidget spinner or something that she would get engaged in, she would want to play, try giving that. Then she would not play with phone. But social interaction, again, we have to look into his language part to make sure that we target his her social interaction with others. Hello ma'am, thank you so much for information. Okay. How to engage my 12-year-old kid for whole day reinforcement schedule again. We have list of reinforcers. If possible, Harshali, we would try to, I would share list with you and you try with everyone so that they can make their own individualized list according to what their children like.
Yes.
Right?
I'm not able to... Yeah, if one reinforcement doesn't work, yeah.
How frequently can we change the reinforcement? Should we change it immediately after a while to get the desired behavior? Yeah. If it's not working, it's not a reinforcer. If it's not working, it's not a reinforcer, and we may look into the other reinforcers. And what child wants is only something what you're going to try to give him. So not always you have to sit with the reinforcers. Reinforcers are available everywhere. It's your child's own house, and everything is just available. Just see what your child is looking into. Just see where your child is going to and use that. That's a reinforcer for that particular time. Right? Ma'am, my child is 7 years old. He can speak after me immediately, but doesn't understand or recall it next time. And whether I make him do any activity or learning, which is visual, he never looks. He's always distracted. He has no liking. No reinforcers is... well, I will say that I don't know what you're talking about here, because you're talking about that he speaks to immediately response behind you. Try prompt fade. I mean, I don't know. Tell your therapist to try prompt fade and errorless teaching to make your child recall things in memorize things and then recall in future. Okay. Visually, he never looks. He's distracted. What kind of activity you're looking into? Is it functionality appropriate activities that you're looking forward to? And reinforces what to do. No reinforcers, we need to develop the reinforcer. If it's like going out, if it's make your home more and more enriched and make it available all the time for child to like it first, if that's possible. If swing is available freely initially, or maybe trampoline is available freely, or some kind of toy or some kind of light which is available freely, child may start developing interest, and potentially it can become a reinforcer. My son is 19 years old, ADHD and speech pathologist says he's pragmatic systematic disorder, semantic disorder. Please suggest me how to improve in his language. Well, verbal behavior can help. I think next workshop would be really beneficial to you. If he can repeat things behind you, and only auditory discrimination is difficulty, only framing questions, framing answers is difficulty, we may try verbal. So you may talk to your speech pathologist that if she can work on verbal behavior. Ma'am, my child is 15 years old and has speech clarity problem. He communicates but gets frustrated when someone does not understand his language. Now, due to pandemic, he is hooked to mobile. Reinforcer schedule again. If he's hooked to one reinforcer, you are clearly lack of reinforcers at home. In his 15 years old, so you will have to look into what he likes most, because it may happen that the list I provide will have reinforcers which he may feel literally low on boring. So please get into child's interest more and understand what he likes more to provide.
Ma'am, can I interrupt for a moment? There is a tapping sound is coming, Via, from your side, I think. Tapping sound. Some sound is coming.
Okay. What kind of?
Yeah.
I can't hear you very clearly. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, actually, even we can hear that.
Yeah, some tapping sound like tuck, 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 is
Can you
coming
hear?
continuously.
Can you hear now?
No. Now it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, maybe my headphone was off. That's why. Can you hear?
Okay.
Okay. So, my son is 2.8 years old. He doesn't like to do any activities with do anything even with reinforcement. Even with the reinforcement, nahi. आपको खाली reinforcers ही चाहिए फिलहाल. He's just 2.8 and just develop all the reinforcers. See, what I'm suggesting to parent for 15-year-old is not different than 2.8-year-old, but the reinforcers will differ here. Okay, and the activity is what you. So your 15-year-old may like some other activities, 2.8-year-old may like different activities. That's the reason I can't provide schedules here. But what I'm trying to make you all understand is make use of child's interest. Anything is nothing with the reinforcement. You don't have to do anything with the reinforcer. That's your therapist work. If your therapist is trained in using differential reinforcers, differential reinforcers, you try to get your rapport built with your child. You try to make trust built on you, so that you and make your environment enriched with the various activities which your child loves to get engaged in, and let him be busy all the time in those activities, and stimulate him with the words or sentences according to the language that your child has already developed. Try doing that. Okay, Vaishali? Next. My daughter is 12-year-old child. She's her needs, but teaching concepts seem to be difficult. Any suggestions? Well, teaching concepts to 12-year-old, we don't know what, I personally don't know what level of concepts you are talking about, but for sure, using prompt phase, errorless teaching, using visual cues, using other strategies like maybe social stories, or maybe some kind of concrete learning will help them understand concepts better. So yeah, surely that can help you. Oh no, kids are more with after his session once again. Okay. Any good book recommendation? Any good book recommendation? Harshali, can you help here for the parents which book they can try to read? How to play with, there's a book called How to Play or How to Engage Your Child in a Day. I'm aware about one of the books, but I'm not really I don't
Actually, right
remember.
now I can't remember, but we have a lot of books resources in our one resource
Yeah,
group, so they can go and search for it. ABK. We have many groups in Telegram resources.
yeah, try to get in connection with some kind of book. And if
Yeah.
I would also have some kind of PDFs, I will share to Harshali. Harshali, you share them in group. Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
My son is 6 years old and he is very stubborn. How to tackle him? Okay, stubborn for what? Because you're asking demands, child wants to get escape of the situation, or wants to get excess of the tangibles, or is just a play and he doesn't want to get disturbed. What is the function of this stubbornness that we don't know here? But
Stubbornness means they maybe there is not listening, not compliant. I mean, I generally see this thing. The
yeah,
compliance is the, yeah.
but most of the time, then if compliance is an issue, Sonali, it could be definitely a trust issue with you. That's the reason child doesn't want to comply you, because in past your child must have seen you putting a lot of demands and it is not allowing him to demands, 20% demands, and then go to 30. 30 is takes literally long time. Try to stick to 10 to 20 for long time. It will help you be more, it will help you to become heard well, and your child to become compliant to all your demands, and try to use those demands which your therapist has already taught him and trained him for. My son is 5 year old. From past 2 3 months he is murmuring a lot with increased vision stimming. Okay, whenever he is not engaged he does this. Yeah, so you know that when he is not engaged only he is doing this. That says that he needs more engagement, and he, because he can't plan for himself, it's very difficult for the child to plan the activities. So then that's where your role is. Please plan activities one by one, so that vision stimming says that he is visual seeker. He wants to play with activities which has a lot of lights or some kind of pattern or vision. Try to build on to sensory activity schedule, where you're giving those kind of activities constantly at a day, so that his anxiety is also kind of taken care, and slowly and gradually you can try using those as reinforcers and putting in demands to help. I will always try to engage him, but remains idle for 15 minutes. 15 is too long. Trust me, 15 is too long. He can't, when you know that your child can't plan even single activity, leaving 15 minutes, he can definitely can make your house upside down. So I would try to tell you constantly, very systematically, without break, reinforcement to reinforcement schedule will help him be on task, and in 2 3 months ahead he will be so used to getting engaged in tasks that slowly and gradually he can plan for himself by manding it by maybe point or words or whatever communication way he has developed. His attention has decreased also. It can be possible that he is selecting to not pay a lot of attention in learning because he's losing interest in everything, as uh, he's not being able to plan his day. And I would definitely try telling you your Pinky, that please plan a schedule where you're giving reinforcers to your child entire day, entire awakened time, maybe on going into the garden, they all part of the schedule, or maybe going for the ride, giving some chivda or something to eat, or then again playing with bubble, then giving some water time. Or if you have somebody else, somebody can take care of him by making play some social games like peekaboo or going behind the curtain. Make a schedule. See, usually I would tell you our kids need, if they can't plan even a single activity by their own, you have to be ready with the schedule of 50 activities in a day minimum, 50, because not many kids have longer attention for one activity. So more the activity planned, you can go ahead with it. And it is easy for you to help your child getting engaged. My son is 3 years old. My God, he's able to understand our language, but he's not able to express his feeling through speech, sometimes through actions also. How to encourage verbal behavior? Dilip Kumarji, for sure, verbal behavior training. I am going to talk about verbal behavior in next session, but it's very difficult for parents to understand in one go. But at least understand the importance of verbal behavior for your therapist, where you can ask your therapist to follow verbal behavior techniques. Mostly speech therapists, if they know plays with interest and there is no other physical activity which he likes to do. But does he like skating? Maybe he was liking skating before, now he doesn't like. So he doesn't like any other activity, but because you have assumed that he likes skating, try to see that whether it's a skill deficit, performance deficit, or child is losing interest. What is it? How to make him interested in some activities or games? By giving those games and playing with him all the time. You can play with your child at a basic level so that child starts taking interest, and then once they like it, then only your training to help them learn those activities or games start. First, just try to make sure that your child likes that activity. My Aryan, my child is 4 years old. He's quite verbal and starts speaking and little communication there, but he speaks what I have made it learn. If anyone asks complex question, he can't. Right? When he will be able to answer without help, not with not without training, I would say. Please help your child learn manding skills, tacting skills, and intraverbal skills. Again, it's part of verbal behavior. If language comes, verbal behavior training becomes easy. If you're confident your child has language, please go to verbal behavior therapies. Sunrise program, what is that? It's part of ABA. Sunrise program, I am not much aware, but you can always ask them that whether they are following ABA strategies or in combination with ABA what they are following. My son is 5 years old. From past 2-3 months, I already answered this. 14 plus, he has difficulty understanding his own emotions, what's happening him, and then express what kind of ABA strategies we can use. Well, 14 plus, does he have a comprehension of the language? Does he have language to express his needs, to go on the emotions first? Well, it's very complicated question because I don't know your son, but intraverbal skills, expressing emotions are tacting skills and intraverbal skills. So verbal behavior training I would suggest again, but I don't know whether your child has language to ask for needs. Otherwise, starts with basic needs and then go to try to understand emotions. Go for one skill development assessment with one of the nearby therapists to understand at which level your child is functioning on language, so that you would know what to expect next. Hello, man. Okay, 4.11. He doesn't want to wait for anything, just want his demands to be met in seconds. How to teach? Okay, right. Okay, so when you are doing continuous reinforcement schedule, you are giving reinforcements very quickly without your child making child wait. Right? This is what I'm asking. But when you are putting your child to demand reinforcement schedule, wait could be one of the demand. Wait could be one of the demand, that because your child is already used to you giving, it will be very easy for child to wait because the trust is already developed. Okay, example, if you are trying to, your child is looking forward to have this bottle and you constantly giving bottle, and then you say bottle, he would definitely wait because he would know that this is just coming to me, and slowly and gradually you can say wait, bottle is coming, wait. Yes, bottle. So this is making them understand that in past it's come. Today, if it's taking few minutes, he will go on the wait demand from maybe 2 seconds to 3 seconds to 5 seconds to maybe a minute or 2 minutes. This is what you can do. Okay. How can we control tearing of paper and toe walking? Toe walking, uh, you can't control tearing of paper here because child loves to do it. Okay, so first of all, till the time your child comprehends your language that you can't tear paper which are important to parents or something, please make errorless, and please avoid keeping all important papers in your child's vicinity and surrounding, and to give some kind of because your child seeks towards tearing paper, you can get a tub, get a newspaper which is clearly visible newspaper. Only these papers are to be torn and played when you sit in this particular corner in a tub. So try to make your child comply to your instructions by giving tearing paper activity maybe 3 times in a day, and try to make sure that the excess of free tearing of paper is stopped. Toe walking, again, what is the reason? Maybe it's sensory or some kind of motor difficulty. Please talk to your occupational therapist. She'll be able to tell you more about it. Hi, ma'am, my son is 6 years old. He's not interested in playing with kids. Okay, you start playing with your child first, because your child, because other kids would not be playing something what your child is interested in. See, they are very selective. When they will see people playing something what they want or what they like, they will definitely go and play. So initially, what are you looking into? You are looking into play, or you're looking forward for your child to play with others. First, let's work on play, so that they play with the ball or some kind of if he's 6 and he has good language comprehension, then maybe try teaching six and ladder, some kind of little carom or some kind of cards game at home. You play with him, and then slowly and gradually you can call these kids at home where they can have some kind of party where and play games which your child interests. Once these people will be more will become reinforcers, and the child would want to pair themselves with people, he would want to play the activities which other kids are playing. So it's a process. Okay, it doesn't happen slowly, but the first step towards it is develop few play skills in your child according to the age. Speaking recently, few words like papa, mama, truck, car. Please guide me how to make I understand things that he is trying to speak something that I cannot understand. Please tell me how can I help him. I make him understand things as he's trying to speak something that I cannot understand. So are you talking about clarity here? Is he talking about clarity, Harshali?
I don't know, ma'am. He raised his hand. Can we ask him?
Yeah. Please tell him to.
Yeah. Yeah, you can unmute Mr. Bhatia. You there?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
hi.
Hello. Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
My son is 6 years old. Basically.
There's a lot of disturbance, sir. We
I'm
cannot.
telling you, my son is 6 years old.
We cannot hear properly. So, there's a lot of disturbance.
My son is 6 years old and he started.
There's a lot of
Hello?
disturbance. Yeah, there's a lot of disturbance, Mr. Bhatia.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So what I understand from this question is that what he says is something parents don't understand here. So is it because of clarity, or it is kind of language difficulty that your child is facing, or he is not making uh, talking about maybe taking help of speech therapists for verbal behavior here. A lot of speech therapists work on verbal behavior these days, and it definitely helps them to achieve communication using the language what they already have. Okay. He is not listening to us at all. Try to listen, make him play and make him listen the words the way I said. If he's jumping, let's talk about only jump. If he's dancing and he's enjoying, let's talk about only dance. If he's painting, let's talk about only colors. Then slowly and gradually, your words would be would be something he will be interested, and make him listen words that you want to pair with the play. He is 5 years old, shouts and screams, lot of things don't go her way, although we communicate things previously, but still. Okay. Is it about routine? Is it about that your child is not being able to accept a different routine? Visual schedule can help you, or of course, some kind of reinforcers post the activities that you are expecting him her to do can help you. And what are the demands here is very difficult to understand, but try to work on demand reinforcer schedule if he's not trying to do something what you want to do. If it's reinforcer is also difficult, go to continuous reinforcement, then go to demand reinforcement schedule. Ma'am, please tell me, how can I increase the communication of my son? He has a lot of knowledge, but there is communication gap between me and him. Verbal behavior. For sure, verbal behavior. Speech, if articulation is not a problem, if kind of dramatic is not a problem, if child is being able to problem, only communication is the gap, then verbal behavior is the answer for sure. So verbal behavior is making child making child help use the language that they have to communicate needs, maybe get the attention, and intraverbally communicate about thoughts and feelings, or something else that your child would want to engage in. Okay, this training will definitely help you. How old? Teach him color within boundary. 5 years. Yes, you can, depending on the grip and fine motor skills and attention and compliance skill of the child. Thank you so much. Okay. My son is 8 years old. He's played snakes and ladder with us, but he doesn't like to play the same game with other children. Maybe you're giving a lot of prompts while playing, and you are trying to adjust your play in your child in child's way, something like that. Try to play with other children. So your son and other children together, so you'll be able to understand what is the difference between your play and other children's play, so that you can try to bridge that gap. Okay, do that. How can we control tearing paper? Oh, we did this. He has few reinforcers, pegs, and then he is very attached to how to increase his reinforcers. Okay, pegs and something what they have, maybe once or twice in a day, but other times be part of child's play, engage with your child, and introduce more and more in similar way. If pegs and shawls and something what your child likes, start getting more blocks, maybe puzzles, maybe beads, maybe some kind of pegboards, more different kinds of pegboards, and slowly and gradually introduce more of social play, and then you can go into task and activity play. Social play, don't underestimate social play. To bridge the gaps of the activity, social play works very well. If you know that you gave beads, and then you give puzzle, and then you gave something to eat, and then you did something else, and in between, if you have gap, if you have some kind of help, they can help child getting engaged socially, maybe peekaboo or something that we already discussed, or you can also try. So social play is very readily available if you make your child getting having some kind of interest in it. Okay, he's non-verbal, communicates through gestures. Okay, actually, I think what you're talking about is visual play. So communication and gestures will not hinder your progress in making your child develop more of reinforcers. Paper tearing can be used construct in developing waste paper craft activity. Yes. Ma'am, suppose I make a list of 50 activities and I'm giving him one after another. How can I make him independently pick up the games by himself one day? Any idea? Okay. So when you are giving 50 activities one by one, slowly and gradually, once you know that child has already developed the trust and you're going very smooth with back-to-back reinforcers, you can give choice. Keep 2 in your hands and then see where your child is reaching, and then pick that, and then so that means otherwise make the availability of reinforcers on shelf. or in a cupboard and make him pick up one by one, keep one, then next one, keep one, and then next one. Slowly, yes, we can reach on that level, like visual cues. You may not need visual cues if you have activities readily available to you. You need visual cues for activities which are not readily available at home and child can see them. So if you can make them view the entire cupboard of the activity, you may not need visual cues. And slowly and gradually, you may also try to do out of sight manding here, where a child is cupboard is closed and you are asking what do you want to play, and child will visualize what is there in cupboard and he will try to tell you. Good knowledge in alphabets and numbers and able to form words which he see in TV ads. When he was 3 years, he used to speak few phonetic words and rhymes, but now he's not speaking much, only humming and speaking few words without clarity. Sorry, in from his knees. Verbal behavior. We'll talk about how to develop manding at home in the next session. What is verbal behavior? So verbal behavior is basically, in a very easy way, if I can say, it's making use of the language which is available to them. It could be words, it could be sentences, it could be sign, it could be written language, to communicate, to make it more functional to use in communication. That's what is verbal behavior. Okay. There is the little more technicality into that, but we'll talk about that in next session. But it is a way to make child communicate in easy way, if I can tell you. Communicate, to express, to learn. These are the few components in which verbal behavior work on. My daughter doesn't want to write by her own, only scribbling she does. Now, how to make her write independently? She's 4.8 year. Yeah, she's 4.8 year old, but we don't know on what level there she's functioning. If she scribbles and she's not writing, you may try to give little of writing while she plays. So she does little writing and then she plays again. If she does little writing and then she plays again, this is one way to do. But I don't know if this can help, because I don't know whether fine motor grip and kind of eye-hand coordination at what level it has developed. So maybe your therapist will be able to answer this more, because she will, or he or she would know your child better. How can we improve pragmatics? Verbal behavior. Sorry, and because yeah, for sure. Or we can also, you can also do it by parallel talk, the way of by just making repeat in the sentences, so the child also repeats. Once in child will be able to form big sentences, you can make use of those sentences for communication, right? So giving opportunity to speak lengthy sentences in play will help child and learn semantic, but pragmatic is for sure man training, tact training. It will help. My son is 8 years old. In spite of therapy, I did not see independent play skills develop, but good in cycling, skating, but is only echo and clarity issue in academic learning. Okay, that's too much. I'll tell you, if play is not getting developed, you may look into what kind of activities he does in his therapy, in occupational therapy, and you can make use of those activities at home to make him play. Okay. How will surely, okay. Please, how to interact with others in group. It all depends on language. If your child has skills and language and motivation to interact with the group, we can work on it. But I don't know the functionality of your child, Shivansh. So it is very difficult for me to answer on this platform right now. Hope you understand the limitation, as I don't know children and I don't want to answer something very randomly. Okay. I think all the questions are answered.
Yes, most of them, I mean, all of them.
Yes.
And I really appreciate your patience to answer all those questions. Like there was so many of them. and very helpful, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, on verbal behavior, yes, we'll do it in next session.
Yeah, we'll do it next session. And next session, I'm trying to make you understand each component. But again, with what level child functions on, it all depends on the level of the child. So I will try to be as specific as more, and I'll try to bring some videos if possible, so that I can show how to train. But verbal behavior is a very intense training. Many speech therapists are trained or licensed, or ABA therapists are definitely trained, because we are taught very very intensively. We are taught verbal behavior. But for sure, it's one of the very important thing for making them communicate, because most of the time speech come because by repeating words, parallel talks, speech difficulties clear हो जाती है, language भी develop एक level पे तक हो जाती है, पर वो communication में use करना, it's very difficult for children to do, because they're not trained into, and parents also don't know how to expect them to speak and ask questions or answer the questions the way we ask.
Yes.
Harshali?
Yes, sir.
I just want to add one thing before this session ends. Parents who joined this call, even I'm also a special needs parent. I've been doing this from the last, I think, 11 years, because my son is 16 now. After his diagnosis, it took 3 years for me to understand his abilities. I understand his strengths, weaknesses, likes, dislikes, his motivational fact, all things. I took like 3 years for me. So for you, forget about the age of the children, forget about what is your situation. Always take a break when you are in the corner to looking for help, looking for guidance, looking to start somewhere else. So always review that what are the areas your child is looking for help, what are the areas your child is looking for support, what are the functional skills he needs at this time, what are his basic skills, what are his interests, strengths, and what is his dislikes, and how much he can do with the self-sufficient needs. Always work with his sleeping habits, toilet needs, food habits, play skills, imitations, and social skills. So always start with the first concern what you have. Don't come up with all overwhelming situations and technical words, and write down what is your primary concern, and go and talk to your professional, like whoever the therapist or the teacher is, and then come up with a plan for the 3 months, whether it is a behavior modification plan or a individual education plan or a functional based plan, and then work for 3 months, evaluate the results, and then rewrite the journal again, and then until you hit the wall to get a result. Keep working, keep working, keep working. Do not give up, because there will be a solution for every problem. There is a strategy for every challenge. So the problems are everywhere, even it is a neurotypical child or a special child. So do not mix your family problems with the child, and always make sure that what am I doing to the child to make him better tomorrow. That's it. Do not worry about the future, and do not worry about next year or after 2 years. So that is what I want to share with the parents today. Thank you.
Yes, very nicely said, sir. Yeah. Yes, somebody saying golden words. Yes, really. I also wanted to say that. I mean, yes. Brian, you want to add something? Your
Yes. In fact, being parent of 2 kids, what we know from our journey is that we like to share with others also, that every day is different, and life of a special needs parent, is every day is different. It's a new challenge, but then we need to take everything positively. And what ma'am also said, with regard to, say, the reinforcers have the child has to understand what is a reinforcer, and do not mix them in everyday life. Otherwise, it is going to be a common thing. It will never remain as a reinforcer. And secondly, try to engage yourself, as per what Mr. Praveen also always say, and what we also say as a family together. Try to be a role model as we say, like, no, become a monkey with the child and you jump together. And that is how, the child will learn. And the more you try to do a desktop learning, you will say, like, no, do this continuously. The child will not do it unless and until you engage yourself and you do it with the child. So that is how we will understand our children better, and you will get positive results for sure. And lastly is, yes, we are a fraternity of parents, but then every child is different. So just don't look at other children and say, like, no, that a child has done something in 5 months, my child should be doing it in 3 months. Probably it is possible, but then it can also be, say, 12 years. We don't know. So be positive in your journey, and surely, like, good things will happen.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, yes.
See, I think what Praveen said is very right, that hit the wall till you get the results. You ये नहीं काम करता है, ये नहीं काम कर रहा है, तो क्या काम कर रहा है, पर उसके साथ भी you have to be very consistent in your work. You may try one thing for 2 days and then try to another two strategies for coming 2 days. Nothing will give you result. Keep consistent and try taking understanding of what you are trying to do. If it is research based, it is given results in past to kids, then it will definitely give to your kids. Okay, learn the strategy, employ it correctly, and then hit the wall till you get results is the answer. It may take 2 days, 20 days, or 30 days. We don't know. Right?
Yeah,
Thank you
truly
so
said,
much for
yeah,
listening.
yes.
Thank you so much for listening. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity given, where I'm getting opportunity to share the knowledge that I have gained in few years of work, which I have done. And I'll try getting more information for coming and come ahead with it.
Yes, looking forward, ma'am. Like in my experience also, I am right now also I'm using various strategies. ये नहीं काम हो रहा, वो करके देखते हैं, ये करके देखते हैं. But the consistency should be there. And I mean, lot of with my 6 years old, because I'm into that phase, that lot of behaviors are coming in. So for many years, I also couldn't find out the reinforcer for him, or the what can be done to, I mean, to make that compliant with us. So it's a continuous process, I would like to say. Like it will not happen in a one day, or it's not same for the all the kids. So
Yeah.
I mean, in group also I always says कि don't go by like मेरा बेटा ऐसा करता है तो आपका भी करने लगेगा. With reinforcement, it will not work.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the key of the
And every child likes different things. A biscuit is not a said reinforcer, or chips are not said reinforcers. They are potential for many kids, but it cannot be for few. For some people, biscuit may be punishment, that he doesn't want the texture of the biscuit on his tongue, and then it would work as punisher more than reinforcer.
Yes. Like for my child, food doesn't work as a reinforcer, because he has oral issues, so he doesn't eat anything. So reinforcement to काम ही नहीं है. I mean, no chocolates, nothing. So I have to find out other things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that always a food as a reinforcement, or a toy, or anything else. I mean, even he likes to read and something like that. So I gave him a book as a reinforcer. So lots of reinforcer.
Yes, books can definitely be a good reinforcer. So make sure that these are not freely available, and you can use it when you require them to be used. If they are given freely, तो फिर again उसका भी deprivation, the way Brand said.
Yes.
Yeah. Deprive हो जाएगी, फिर again we keep struggling with, though we will keep struggling with finding new reinforcers all the time, because they change the way we change. Interests don't remain to be constant entire life.
Yeah.
So keep changing and keep assessing what your child likes, and it's a key to give them very enriched environment at home, so that at least non-desirable behavior, and child should like home first. See, अगर घर पे भी इतनी सिखाने का ही चालू कर देंगे पेरेंट्स विदाउट लॉट ऑफ रिइंफोर्सिंग टाइम, तो इनके लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन हो जाती है कि थेरेपी और घर में डिफरेंस क्या है. या सो डिमांड्स को डालो बीच में, पर लेट देम बी हैप्पी एंड वेरी kind of comfortable in their house, so that they look forward to do things, and then anxiety issues at least थोड़े solve होते जाएंगे वहाँ पे.
It's a more towards a play way, like we always said. You are saying that it's a more in a play way. If you do it in a play way, then it will work better.
It's absolutely play way. Nothing
Yeah.
could be without play way. Nothing.
Yeah, otherwise
वो-
some parents, I mean, take other tabletop activities for that.
इसीलिए मैं बोली ना कि reinforcers लेकर बैठने की जरूरत नहीं है. मेरे लिमिटेशन है कि मैं ये ट्रेनिंग के लिए यहाँ पे बैठी हूँ, मैं घूमूंगी तो आप लोगों को दिखूंगी नहीं. But otherwise, and that's the reason I've tried to take videos where child is all around the place and parent and trainer is running and asking questions. It is not needed. Maybe 1.5 घंटे की therapy में भी we try to make them slowly मतलब कर करके 20-30% times हम बिठाते हैं. 70% they are all around, because not all the training of verbal behavior or anything may need sitting activities. तो OT activities करते करते भी आप बीच बीच में जो उनको पसंद है activities कर रहे हैं, बीच में speech के targets डाल दो. It's easy for them to do during that time. बिठा के पूरा complete करवा के उठाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. We don't learn language on table. We learn language in our own environment.
Yes, very true, ma'am. Even I mean, doing OT activities, I could see. I mean, we can, okay, ये दो बोलना है, ये दे बोलना है. So in those activities only we incorporate many, I mean,
Speech words.
Yeah, speech
Yes,
words
yes,
and
yes.
sentences.
That works very well. If they're liking something like tunnel, so tunnel they usually do for their activities in OT. So we try to give as a tunnel, going in the tunnel. Tunnel is circle. We come out of the tunnel. अगर sentences बोलते हैं तो, if kids are speaking in words, okay, tunnel, 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 red tunnel, blue tunnel. At least child is repeating behind you and he's attentive to the vocals that you are using. That means we are getting two results. One, of course, tunnel is giving them kind of help for their sensory issues, and your language stimulation is giving them and making them confident to use words. So both the activities can be combined together. So while they play, that's the reason I've shown in video that when you play, please keep talking and don't instruct them. Usually parents mistake this with giving instruction. Go in tunnel. What will child speak in that? Child will speak go in tunnel. Better you speak something you would want child to speak in later time when he plays. So about the tunnel, if my child is doing some puzzle and if he is putting peg of apple, we say apple is red, we eat apple, apple is a fruit, so that these words go into his ear and language simulation starts happening entire day. Then if I ask him, if he is used to speaking those words, apple is red, and if I use my verbal behavior, this particular skill which is developed in my verbal behavior training, and I ask him, okay, which color is apple? What do you do with apple? Show me which is apple. Show me something what you eat. Then it makes sense because he has already done that at home, and parent is coming to me with some kind of homework which is helping me to run my sessions and my targets a little faster. So that's what I try to do, and it usually helps me. But many times I also fail and then try to read more and learn more.
Yes, yeah. So permutation and combination thing,
Yeah, it does happen. But ABA usually there's a book on principles of ABA. छोड़ दो, बहुत थोड़ा complicated हो जाता है. But the strategies भी अगर parents ने थोड़ी level पे use करना चालू किया, they'll get results little faster, for sure, because they are more, I would say, very innate techniques in its own to employ and to learn. Make sure you know. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
thank you so
it
much.
was very informative session, and
I hope it was. Thank you so much.
Yes, very helpful, and we are looking forward for more. I mean, next
we have one coming on next Monday.
Yeah, same time and same day we are meeting again at 6:30.
Yes.
Aaron, thank you for joining, and thank you, Praveen sir, and
thank you so much, Praveen ji. Thank you so much, Harshali, Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez. Thank you so much for arranging everything for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brian and Janet, for being there for me. I mean, I was not feeling well, but now I'm good. Yeah. Okay, we'll wrap.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Good night.